Good morning, students. Today we will start with the remaining part of the lesson, footprint without feet. So before we start, let's revise what we had read in the last lecture. Now we come to know that Griffin is a scientist and he is a brilliant scientist who has discovered a drug which could make human beings invisible. Now this invention was a great invention and he could have been awarded and he could have used that for the better place or the well-being of the society. But Griffin was not a law-abiding person. What he did in the beginning, what he did that he set fire to the house where he lived on rent basis and he had to run away from there. Then he was without clothes and he was invisible only without clothes. So it was winter season, he had to remain without clothes and it was very difficult for him to bear that cold. So he entered into a store, big store, and there he spent the night, ate the food, picked the clothes of his choice and enjoyed that night. But next morning, before he could run away from there, the assistants had already arrived. So they were after him and he had to remove all his clothes to become invisible. As he could become invisible only when he was naked. So this happened, and after that what he decided that he should just cover all his body parts including face, actually nose, these parts have forehead, these could not be covered with clothes and only we need something different from that. So he decided to enter into a theatrical shop where he could get all the props. He could get artificial nose, he could get a hat and mustaches and all that so that he could cover all his body parts. So he did all that and he hit the shopkeeper, he did not want to pay, he stole the money, and after that he left London as he was now a person who the police was after him. He had already committed so many crimes, so he might have been caught. So he decided to go to Apings, that was a nearby village, and he reached there, he booked 2 rooms in an inn, and after that he started living there. And now what he did, in the beginning he was able to pay the money that he had, but after that when the money ended he had no choices but to say that he was waiting for his checks. And suddenly what happened that all the people they started talking about this strange person because his forehead was always covered and he always put hat and he wanted to live alone. He did not want to face anybody, he did not want to talk to anybody. So this is all what we have read. Now let's read the next part of the story. Now next what happened that shortly afterwards a curious episode occurred. Now landlord Mrs. Hall, she was waiting for that money, and in the meantime a strange happening took place. Very early in the morning a clergyman is a priest, church priest, and his wife were awakened by the noises in the study. They were sleeping and suddenly there were noises in their study room. Creeping downstairs, as they came down quietly, they heard the chink of money being taken away from the clergyman's desk. And what they heard some sound that somebody was taking money from the clergyman's desk. Without making any noise, as they were coming very slowly, they just want to catch him. So without making any noise and with a poker is a metal rod, poker grasped firmly in the hand, the clergyman flung open the door and he suddenly opened the door, surrender. And he asked him to hands up and he had just wanted him to surrender. But he was surprised because then to his amazement he realized that the room appeared to be empty. There was nobody in the room. Nobody was visible. He and his wife looked under the desk and behind the curtains and even up the chimney. They looked everywhere, behind the curtains, up in the chimney, everywhere, but they could not find anybody in the room. There wasn't a sign of anybody. Yet the desk had been opened and the housekeeping money was missing. But as there was nobody in the house, but the money was stolen. So they were surprised that what is happening, and nobody is there, nobody was seen around, and the sound was also still there, but they could not get anybody. Extraordinary affair. This was really extraordinary, very strange experience it was. The clergyman kept saying for the rest of the day, and he was shocked for the rest of the day. But it was not as extraordinary as the behavior of Mrs. Hall's furniture a little later that morning. This was also a strange experience, but the stranger was the experience that Mrs. Hall had with her furniture later in the same morning. What happened there? The landlord and his wife were up very early. That morning they woke up early and were surprised to see the scientist's door wide open. Now, the scientist, he always kept his door closed. But that day what happened? The door was open. So they were already suspicious of that man. So what they just wanted to find out some details about him, because as the door was open, they just entered. Usually it was shut and locked, and he was furious if anyone entered his room, and he would get angry if anybody tried to enter the room. The opportunity seemed too good to be missed. Now they had got a good opportunity that they could find some detail about that man. They peeked around the door, saw nobody, and decided to investigate. Now, as they just looked into the room, they found nobody, and they took it a good chance. They took it as a good chance that they could find out, they could investigate the matter. The bedclothes were cold and showing that the scientist must have been up for some time. The bedclothes was cold, so that showed that he had already woken up for a long time. And the stranger still, the clothes and bandages that he always wore were lying about the room. And the clothes and the bandages that he always wore, they were lying in the room. So it was also a very strange experience for them. All of a sudden, Mrs. Hall heard a sniff close to her ear. Now, suddenly what happened, as they were investigating the things, suddenly they heard a heavy breathing. Sniff is a heavy breathing sound close to Mrs. Hall's ear. A moment later, the hat on the bedpost leapt up and dashed itself into her face. Suddenly what happened? There was a hat on the bedpost. Bedpost is the sides of the bed. Okay, there was a hat, and what happened? That hat itself hit Mrs. Hall. Then the bedroom chair became alive. Suddenly, one more strange experience happened. That chair that became alive. How it became alive? Springing into the air, it charged straight at her legs foremost, and springing into the air, it was lifted in the air itself, and it came as it was charged and straight to Mrs. Hall, her legs straight forward, foremost. As she and her husband turned away in terror, the extraordinary chair pushed them both out of the room and then appeared to slam and lock the door after them. And as Mrs. Hall and her husband, they were already shocked to see all that. They were trying to just move out of the room, but that chair pushed them out of the room and the door closed after them. Okay. Mrs. Hall almost fell down the stairs in hysterics. Mrs. Hall, she was shocked with that experience, and she fell down. She just about to stumble down. लड़खड़ा के वो गिरने ही वाली थी एकदम से. ऐसे लग रहा था कि now what was happening in that house. She was convinced that the room was haunted by spirits. Now what she thought? That the house was haunted by the spirits. Some ghosts are there in the room, and that the stranger had somehow caused these to enter into her furniture, and they were sure that it is all because of that stranger, that man who was staying as a guest in their inn. My poor mother used to sit in that chair, she moaned. Now she cried in pain. That moaned is cried in pain. She cried that this chair was used by her mother. And to think it should rise up against me now, and how it could rise, how it could hit her, that was really a shocking experience, and that she did not want. Now, next part it is given. The feeling among the neighbor was that the trouble was caused by witchcraft. Now, other people, what they were thinking, that it is all because of any black magician. But witchcraft or not, when news of burglary at the clergyman's house became known, the strange scientist was strongly suspected of having had a hand in it. Now, when the news of clergyman's burglary was known to everybody, and all of them, they were thinking that this was all because of the strange scientist. He must have some strong hand in it. Suspicion grew even stronger when he suddenly produced some ready cash. And they grew more suspicious of that person because last night he had no money, but in the morning he gave some ready cash. He gave some cash to Mrs. Hall. Though he had admitted not long before that he had no money. Because last night he had admitted that he had no money, but in the morning he gave money to Mrs. Hall, and that made their suspicion more stronger. The village constable was secretly sent for instead of waiting for the constable, and Mrs. Hall went to the scientist who had somehow mysteriously appeared from his empty bedroom. Now, village constable was secretly sent for. Now, they asked for the constable because the theft was there in clergyman's house, so they asked for the constable. But before waiting, instead of waiting for the constable, Mrs. Hall went to the scientist. She entered into the scientist's room, who had appeared from somewhere. Because before some time he was not there in the room, but now he had come. He had appeared in that room. I want to know what you have been doing to my chair upstairs, she demanded. Now, she was very upset. She was also very angry because she had bad experience in her room, in scientist's room. So, but she wanted to know that what he was doing with that chair upstairs. And I want to know how it is you came out of an empty room and how you entered a locked room. And now she wanted to know that how he entered, how he was not there in that room before some time, and how he entered that room which was locked. So it was all, the suspicion was growing, and she wanted the answer of all these questions. The scientist was always quick-tempered. Scientist was always in a very angry mood, and now he became furious. Now he became more angry, and you don't understand who or what I am, he shouted. Now he started shouting, the scientist started shouting that you don't know who I am, and very well, I will show you. Okay, don't worry, I will show you who I am. Suddenly, he threw off bandages, whiskers, spectacles, and even nose. Suddenly what he did? He removed all his props. What he was wearing? Bandages, spectacles, whiskers, and nose. Even he had an artificial nose, so he removed all that. And it took him only a minute to do this, and he did it all in a minute. And the horrified people in the bar found themselves staring at a headless man. And suddenly, but all the people in the restaurant, what they found a person, because he was wearing clothes, but he had removed everything from his head, nose, eyes, and that's why his head became invisible. So now people, what they were looking at a headless man. Mr. Jeffers, the constable, now arrived. In the meantime, constable arrived and was quite surprised to find that he had to arrest a man without a head. And he was surprised to find that he had to arrest somebody who was without a head. But Jeffers was not easily prevented from doing his duty. Now Jeffers, nobody could stop him from doing his duty. If a magistrate warrant ordered a person's arrest, then that person had to be arrested. Now, if he had warrants against anybody, so he is with head or without head, he had to arrest that person because they were court orders. with or without his head. So now he tried to arrest that person. He was without head. And there followed a remarkable scene as the policeman tried to get hold of a man who was becoming more and more and more invisible as he threw off one garment after another. And slowly, this became a remarkable scene because that scientist, he started removing his clothes one by one and his body parts became invisible. They started becoming invisible. And finally, a shirt flew into the air and the constable found himself struggling with someone he could not see at all. So now, after that what happened? He finally threw off his shirt also, and now the constable was struggling with a person who was not visible at all. Some people tried to help him but found themselves hit by blows that seemed to come from nowhere. So now some people also tried to help the policeman, the constable, but they were also hit by the blows. They were also hit by that person, invisible man, and they did not know where these blows were coming from. In the end, Jeffers was knocked unconscious as he made a last attempt to hold on to the unseen scientist. Now, after some time, Jeffers became unconscious as he made his last effort to arrest that scientist. There were nervous, excited cries of hold him, but this was easier said than done. Everybody was crying, everybody was saying, hold him, hold him, hold him. It was very easy to say hold him, but very difficult to catch that person who was invisible. Griffin had shaken himself free and no one knew where to lay hands on him. So now, and he had become invisible, he was nowhere, he could not be seen, and that's why it was very difficult to arrest him. So this is all taken, this chapter is taken from the novel, that is The Invisible Man. You can read the whole novel and you find it very interesting that how this invisible man, he creates nuisance in the society and ultimately what happens to him. So this is what the story is all about. And if we talk about the theme of this lesson, it's very simple, that misuse of science and its great discoveries can make even a brilliant scientist like Griffin a monster and a threatening, lawless person. So this is what scientists had already done. He could have proved better for the society, but as he was a scientist, brilliant scientist, but he proved monstrous for them. And ultimately, you can see what happened to him. So this is what all this story is all about. So with that, thank you.